Trump had 3 casinos in Atlantic City. Yes, you heard it right. I am talking about that Trump. He used to own 3 casinos: the Taj Mahal, Trump Plaza, Trump's Castle. All 3 are knocked down and empty land now, and that's somehow not even the most shocking thing that happened to this city. Atlantic City once had 12 casinos running at the same time. Today it has 5, and the other 7 closed so fast that 13,000 people lost their jobs in a single year. The Boardwalk that gave Monopoly its street names now has more empty locked shops than open ones, and a $2.4 billion casino opened in 2012 and shut down just 2 years later, before most people even knew it existed. The city that once drew more visitors than Disney World became a city that New Jersey had to rescue financially. 10 reasons why nobody wants to visit Atlantic City anymore. Reason number 10, Trump's casinos are gone, and with them the most famous name in Atlantic City history. When Donald Trump opened the Trump Taj Mahal in 1990, he called it the 8th wonder of the world. That was not modest. The Taj Mahal was genuinely enormous. 1,000 rooms, 60 gaming tables, over 2,000 slot machines, a concert hall that hosted world championship boxing matches. Trump Plaza had opened 6 years earlier in 1984. Trump's Castle followed. By the early 1990s, Trump had 3 casinos running simultaneously, making him the most visible name on the entire East Coast gambling scene. The Atlantic City your parents remember, the fights, the celebrities, the sense that it was genuinely competing with Las Vegas, that Atlantic City was built around Trump's name. His 3 casinos were the skyline. Trump Hotels and Casino Resorts filed for bankruptcy in 2004. The Taj Mahal closed in 2016 after a labor dispute. Trump Plaza closed in 2014, sat empty for years, and was demolished in February 2021. Hundreds of people lined the boardwalk that morning to watch it come down. A building that had hosted Sugar Ray Leonard fights came down in under 10 seconds. The Taj Mahal is now the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. Trump Plaza is an empty lot. The most famous casino brand in Atlantic City history is completely off the skyline. And somehow, that is not even the most shocking thing that happened to this city. Subscribe, because reason number 1 is a $2.4 billion casino that opened and closed in less than 3 years. That's where this list ends. Alright, moving on. Reason number 9, the Boardwalk is declining. And the Boardwalk was the whole point. Everybody who ever came to Atlantic City came for the Boardwalk first. The casino came second. The buffet came third. But the Boardwalk was the reason. You stepped off the car, hit the planks, smelled the salt air and funnel cake, and understood why people had been making this trip for over 100 years. The Atlantic City Boardwalk is the oldest in the world, built in 1870. Steel Pier hosted Frank Sinatra. It hosted diving horses, an actual spectacle where horses ran off a 40-foot platform into a pool of water below. A spectacle so bizarre and so beloved that people drove hours just to watch a horse jump into water. The Boardwalk had rolling chairs, men who pushed wicker chairs on wheels while tourists sat back and watched the ocean. Saltwater taffy was invented here in 1888. The game of Monopoly was designed in 1935 by a woman who walked this boardwalk and chose the street names from memory. Baltic Avenue, Park Place. The boardwalk itself, not metaphors, real streets. What does it look like now? Empty shops with paper covering the windows. Casino entrances that feel disconnected from everything around them. The rolling chairs are gone. Steel Pier still operates, but as a shadow of what it was. The Boardwalk once drew 14 million visitors a year. The Atlantic City Tourism Board stopped publishing that number, which is itself a statement. Reason number 8, 12 casinos became 5. Atlantic City had 12 casinos. Now it has 5. And the year 4 of them closed simultaneously was unlike anything American tourism had ever seen. In 2006, Atlantic City had 12 operating casinos employing nearly 50,000 people in a city of 38,000 residents. Atlantic City was the second largest gambling market in the United States, trailing only Las Vegas. For 30 years, that distinction drove everything. The hotel investment, the resort pricing, the belief that the city had found its permanent future. Then 2014 happened. In a single calendar year, Atlantic City closed 4 casinos. The Atlantic Club in January, the Showboat in August, the Revel in September, Trump Plaza in September. 4 casinos in 1 year. 13,000 workers lost their jobs in 12 months. Man, that is not a business slowdown. Philadelphia has neighborhoods that did not lose that many jobs during the 2008 financial crisis. Atlantic City lost 13,000 casino casino jobs in 2014 alone, in a city of 38,000 people. The buildings did not get repurposed immediately. They did not get demolished quickly. They just sat there, enormous, empty, and in at least one case, eventually catching fire in ways that investigators attributed diplomatically to electrical issues in abandoned structures. By 2024, Atlantic City operates with 6 casinos. The other 6 buildings represent the visible evidence of what happens when a market changes faster than a city can adapt. Reason number 7, the crime problem. Yeah, the crime problem is real, and it's documented, and it is one of the first things tourists find when they search Atlantic City online. Atlantic City's crime rates have been among the highest in New Jersey for decades. This is not a new problem. It has been a new problem every decade since the 1970s. Each wave of casino investment promised to revitalize the surrounding neighborhoods. In 1978, when New Jersey voters approved casino gambling specifically as an urban revitalization strategy, the pitch was that casinos would lift the whole city. The neighborhoods would improve. Poverty would decline. Atlantic City would become something. The casinos generated tax revenue that funded city services without building any other economic foundation. The gap between the casino floor and the street one block away is one of the most jarring contrasts in American tourism. You can cross it in 20 steps. Reviews of Atlantic City on travel platforms follow a consistent pattern. Mentions of feeling unsafe, aggressive panhandling, car break-ins, hotel staff warnings about which directions not to walk after dark. These reviews accumulate. They do not disappear. A potential visitor researching Atlantic City today is reading reviews from 2019, 2021, 2023, and 2025, and the same themes keep appearing. International visitors who arrive expecting an East Coast Las Vegas and walk 2 blocks off the boardwalk encounter something that no Atlantic City advertisement prepared them for. Those visitors tell other people what they found. Word travels further than any tourism campaign. Reason number 6, Pennsylvania stole the market. Pennsylvania opened casinos, and Atlantic City's geographic monopoly, the only reason the whole thing worked, disappeared. For most of the 20th century, Atlantic City had a geographic monopoly on legal casino gambling on the entire East Coast. New York didn't have it, Pennsylvania didn't have it, Maryland, Delaware, all non-casino states. Atlantic City was where the East Coast went to gamble, not because it was the best option, because it was the only option. You don't need to be excellent when you're essential. Atlantic City was never Las Vegas. The shows weren't as big, the hotels weren't as polished, the whole experience wasn't as refined. But none of that mattered when the alternative was not gambling at all. Pennsylvania legalized slot machines in 2004, full table games in 2010. By 2012, Pennsylvania had generated more casino gaming revenue than Nevada, making it the 2nd largest gambling state in the country. The Philadelphia casino market alone, Sugar House right on the Delaware River, Parks Casino 35 minutes from Center City, now serves millions of gamblers who previously drove the extra distance to Atlantic City. Man. Atlantic City's geographic monopoly was its entire business model. When Pennsylvania opened casinos, the answer to the question of where you went to gamble on the East Coast changed from Atlantic City to wherever is closest to you. For most people near Philadelphia and New York, that is no longer Atlantic City. Reason number 5, overpriced and underwhelming. The hotel experience is priced like a destination resort and delivers something considerably less than that. Atlantic City hotel rooms cost $200 to $500 on summer weekends. That is Miami pricing. That is Las Vegas pricing. On the low end, it is beach town pricing anywhere in the country. What those prices buy in Atlantic City is not what they buy in Miami or Las Vegas. The casino hotels are aging. Several have not had comprehensive renovations in years. The entertainment ecosystem that once made a casino hotel stay feel worth the price, the headline performers, the full resort experience, has been shrinking as casino revenue has declined. The Atlantic City buffet was an institution for 40 years. Families built their trips around it, an enormous spread of food at a fixed price, the specific pleasure of a meal where quantity is guaranteed, and the decision of what to eat is entirely yours. The Borgata discontinued its buffet. Harrah's discontinued its buffet. The buffet as Atlantic City experience is largely gone. Visitors who paid resort prices expecting a resort experience and got a mid-tier hotel in a struggling city have said so publicly for 15 years. Those reviews are still searchable. They do not go away. Reason number 4, online gambling. Online gambling launched in New Jersey in 2013, and the person who used to drive to Atlantic City once a month now loses the same money from their couch without the hotel room, the buffet, or the parking. New Jersey legalized online casino gambling in November 2013, making it one of the first states to do so. The theory was that online gambling would bring new money into the ecosystem, reaching gamblers who would not make the drive. The theory was only partially correct. What also happened was that the regular visitor, the person who made the monthly trip, spent 2 nights, ate at the buffet, lost $500, and drove home, now does all of that on their phone on a Tuesday. The online casino gets the gambling revenue. The Atlantic City Hotel gets nothing. The restaurant gets nothing. Casino revenue in Atlantic City in 2006 was around $5.5 billion annually. By 2020, it was below $2 billion. The city is now partially competing against itself. The online casinos that carry Atlantic City names are the same companies as the brick-and-mortar properties. Just without the need for you to actually be there. Reason number 3, city went broke. The city of Atlantic City went so broke that the state of New Jersey took direct control of its finances. This does not appear in Atlantic City tourism advertising. In 2016, Atlantic City was facing a municipal debt crisis so severe that the New Jersey state government intervened under the Municipal Stabilization and Recovery Act and took direct control of the city's finances. The state appointed an emergency manager. The elected officials of Atlantic City lost meaningful authority over their own budget. The city that generated $5.5 billion in casino tax revenue in 2006 was by 2016 unable to pay its bills. Bond rating agencies had downgraded Atlantic City's debt to junk status. Property tax revenue had collapsed because casino companies were successfully arguing in court that their properties were worth less than the city said, and winning. By 2021, New Jersey returned most financial control to local government. The crisis was managed, but the fact that it happened reflects a city that built its entire economic identity around one industry, watched that industry contract, and discovered it had built nothing else capable of absorbing the impact. Reason number 2, more visitors than Disney World. In 1987, Atlantic City had more visitors than Disney World. That sentence needs a moment before anything else gets said about it. More visitors than Disney World. In a single year, Atlantic City. This was real. The city with Frank Sinatra and the diving horses and 12 casinos running simultaneously was the most visited tourist destination in the United States. More people drove to Atlantic City's Boardwalk in 1987 than passed through the gates of Walt Disney World in Florida. The people who were 40 in 1987 are in their late 70s now. Every person who was adult in 1987 and went to Atlantic City has a specific memory. The Boardwalk packed shoulder to shoulder on a summer Saturday. The casino floors loud and bright and full. The specific energy of a place that was genuinely the center of the East Coast's entertainment universe. What is the number now? The Atlantic City Tourism Board stopped publishing it. The casino industry reports revenue, not foot traffic. What is known is that 4 casinos closed in 2014. The population has been declining, and the hotels that used to require advance reservations now have rooms available same day. The distance between 1987 and today is the story of what happens when a city's reason for existing disappears faster than the city can reinvent itself. And number 1, the $2.4 billion Revel Casino. It opened April 2012, closed September 2014, 2 years and 5 months. The most expensive abandoned building in New Jersey history. Revel was not a gamble. It was a calculated bet backed by $2.5 billion and the explicit support of the New Jersey state government, which contributed more than $260 million in tax incentives to make it happen. The building was genuinely impressive. 47 floors, ocean views from almost every room, restaurants from nationally known chefs, a spa, a beach club, a design that looked like it belonged in Miami rather than New Jersey. And then it made one decision that broke everything. Revel banned smoking on its casino floor. That sounds reasonable. It was catastrophic. The casino industry runs on heavy gamblers who play for long sessions. A significant portion of heavy gamblers smoke. Atlantic City's other casinos allowed smoking. Revel's guests who smoked walked to a different casino instead of staying. The non-smoking visitors Revel was targeting did not gamble as heavily or as long. The numbers did not work. Revel filed for bankruptcy in March 2013, 11 months after it opened. Emerged from bankruptcy, tried again, filed for bankruptcy again in June 2014, closed permanently in September 2014. 29 months, $2.5 billion, $260 million in state tax incentives, one smoking policy that drove away the exact customers a casino needs to survive. The building now operates as the Ocean Casino Resort under different ownership, but the Revel brand, the $2.5 billion bet on Atlantic City's future, lasted less than 3 years. The most expensive single construction project in Atlantic City's history became almost immediately its most expensive failure. 10 reasons, 1 city. Trump's casinos knocked down. The Boardwalk half empty. 12 casinos became 5. A $2.4 billion resort that lasted less than 3 years. The city that once drew more visitors than Disney World became a city that New Jersey had to financially rescue. The beach is still there. The Hard Rock is genuinely good, but the Atlantic City your parents drove to, that one is gone. Did you ever go, and was it worth the drive? Drop it below. Like the video if this surprised you, and subscribe for more stories exactly like this.